Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of the Famvestor podcast. I am your host, Sunny Burns.
And I'm your co-host, Sunmarie Burns.
Today, we are talking Amazon FBA. And for those that don't know, Amazon FBA is fulfilled by Amazon. So this is a lot of us are probably Amazon shoppers. We hop on Amazon.com, type in whatever we need, maybe diapers, maybe a phone, maybe a screwdriver, and we just hit Prime. 2 days later, it ships to our door. But what a lot of people don't know is that 60% of Amazon is actually supplied by third-party sellers. So we're digging in today with Jonathon Jesper. He's one of those third-party sellers that ships his products to Amazon, puts it in their warehouses, and then Amazon distributes those to people. And, we kind of lightly touch on it in the podcast, but we wanted to kind of share our Amazon FBA story so people kind of get an idea of what it is all about. So if you hop onto our website, famvestor.com/Amazon or Amazon FBA, you can hear our story and how we started selling pacifiers on Amazon, actually. And we still sell them to this day. And when Valen was born, our eldest son, back in 2015, the hospitals gave us this pacifier. If you're viewing on YouTube, you can see that picture of the pacifier, and it's only sold in hospitals. So when we got home, we lost the pacifier. Our son was crying. We tried to give him a store-bought pacifier. He didn't want them. He only wanted that hospital pacifier, and we were like going crazy. Like, what do we do? They don't sell this in the store. How do we find it? I looked online, and I found this company that was selling 100 packs. I'm like, I don't want a 100 pack. I just want one.
Right.
And I was looking on forums. All these forums were saying, I want this pacifier too. I want this pacifier too. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy the 100 pack, and then I'm going to sell the rest on eBay. So that's what I started doing. I started selling on eBay. But then with eBay, every time I got a sale, I had to package it up. I had to go to the post office and I had to mail it. And I was just getting tired of that. So I was looking for another solution. I found out Amazon FBA, where I shipped all 100, the leftover 80 pacifiers I had to Amazon's warehouse. And they put it into their inventory. And when there was a sale on Amazon Prime, they would ship that pacifier I had sent them to the customer.
Right. So it took us out of the position of having to label everything, ship everything manually ourselves, which we were facing with eBay. Very labor intensive.
Right. And, and so I was like, wow, this is amazing. We can sell 15 pacifiers a day. That's what we did, just like 3 months later. So I made like $30,000 off selling purely pacifiers on Amazon in 2016. I have my 1099K statement there. And it was just like this really organic idea where I saw this need. My child needed this. I saw on the forum that there's a need. I supplied that need, and we just started selling on Amazon. Of course, it wasn't our own product. This Philips, it was made by Philips Corporation here in America. So we had a competitor go on, and now there's multiple competitors selling the same pacifier, still selling really well. They sell like 30 a day. But because it wasn't our own branded product, competitors could go on our listing, even though my son's picture is still on the listing with the pacifier as a model. But our competitors could go on the listing and start selling these pacifiers competitively against us. But what Jonathon does, which is really cool, is he private labels. He made his own brand, Jonathon Jesper's products. And because of that, his listings are branded with Jonathon Jesper's products. No one can hop onto those listings. He has created this brand, and he sells to that brand at his own prices with his own marketing. And that's a really cool system. He tells us he has 31 of these products now, and that leads to 7 figures in profits. So that's really cool, and it's really a great episode to dig into. It's not just about Amazon. It's all about kind of a mentality of continual growth, drive, and really just developing yourself by continually investing in yourself and continually growing, continually challenging yourself. So it was such a great message that we really dove into with him that everyone can gain some nugget from.
He talks a lot about intentionality with life, figuring out your dreams and your passions and then going for them, and facing failure not as an end to something, but as a lesson learned to launch you onto a better place for the future. And he's got some pretty inspiring stories. He's done some pretty gutsy things over the years, and I think it's a true testament to someone who just never gives up and sees success through all of his growth in Amazon and in all aspects of his life. So it's pretty great show.
Right. And just to, again, I want to give you a little more detail, concrete detail of how this Amazon FBA business works. So we were selling, when we first started these pacifiers, we were buying them for $1.16 a piece, so 100 pack for $116. And then, so we would buy them for $1.16, and then we would sell them on Amazon for $6.21. That's what we were going for. So you would think, oh, you buy them for $1, you sell them for $6, that's a $5 profit. It's not that clear cut because Amazon needs to take their cut. You know, they're doing the shipping for you, they're doing the distribution for you and all that. So Amazon charges you a flat fee of either $1 per sale, or you can pay them $40 a month to sell as much as you want. And then they'll charge you for each shipment, they'll charge you a certain percent referral fee. So we were getting charged about $2 for every sale in fees. So, or maybe it was around $3. So overall, our profit was only $3.42 per 2-pack we said. Anyway, I have the breakdown of all the fees we were charged on famvestor.com/Amazon FBA. But just so you get an idea of how the business works,
right,
I wanted to say that.
So the total amount of $6 is not going straight into our pocket. There's a lot of behind the scenes fees involved, as well as the product costs and packaging costs and labeling costs.
Right. So each individual pacifier we had to package. You know, we used a heat sealer and just a heat sealed, and then we had to put a label that Amazon would recognize on every single pacifier. So they scan the label, they know it's the correct pacifier that the customer ordered, and then puts it on a box and ships it to your door within 2 days. So it's an awesome service. It's an awesome way for people to get started selling e-commerce from their homes. Jonathon Jesper runs the whole business from his laptop. He's location independent. We hear cool stories of how he spends a month in Japan, relocates based on the weather. If he doesn't like the Las Vegas weather, he goes to his family's home in Michigan, where it's cooler. So just a great story, and I think one that everyone's going to enjoy. So we hope that you enjoy the show, and without further ado, let's get to it.
You're listening to the FamVestor Podcast. If you're looking to raise your family with intention, gain financial independence, and live a life of true freedom, you're in the right place. Join us as we explore together how to create thriving families, because strong families are the cornerstone for a world at peace.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the FamVestor Podcast. Today, I'm very excited to have a guest. I've interviewed him before. Always has a great story, and I'm excited to dig in deep to where he's gone since I've last spoken with him. We have Jonathon Jesper. Jonathon Jesper is an entrepreneur running a multi-million business all from his laptop. He sells products on Amazon. He is a father of 2 and thrives on turning failure into success. Let's welcome Jonathon Jesper.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome.
Good to see you guys again. This is interview number 3, and it's going to be the best one.
Is it 3? I feel like it's... Okay, maybe it is 3. So it's going to be a good one. So, Jonathon, so you are father of 2 now. How old are your kids?
My son is 3 years old, and my daughter is 9 months, one of those months now.
Wow.
Okay. Good. And I think last time we talked, I wasn't able to say you were running a multi-million-dollar business, or you had like 6 figures in profit, I think, at that point. So that was 2 years ago now. Things have been doing pretty well for you, it sounds.
Yeah, we've been growing a lot, but it's definitely not been a straight linear growth. It's definitely been more like a roller coaster. Our downs, it's like the opposite of a normal roller coaster. A normal roller coaster, your first drop is the biggest, but for ours, as we keep going, our downs get deeper, but then our rebounds get higher. So it's definitely been a wild ride the last couple of years for sure.
Awesome. And I think what I love about your story is, or, you know, what you do for your living, you know, you're only 31 years old now, running a multi-million-dollar business, but you can do it all from your laptop. So I feel like that's awesome. Like right now, you're not where I talked to you last, right? You're where are you again?
Oh yeah, we're in Michigan. So in Vegas, it gets hot, and we have our kids. They get to be in Michigan, where it's nicer in the summer. They get to spend time with their grandparents. They get to play outside in the pool. We come out here a few times, but yeah, pretty fun. My whole business is run from a laptop. We we sell products on Amazon. We have products manufactured. When they're manufactured, they get shipped to Amazon's warehouses. Then Amazon ships it straight to the customer. We don't touch any product. Amazon handles a lot of the customer service. They even acquire the customers. All we basically have to do is focus on marketing. And the cool part is that it allows me to be flexible. I can work from anywhere at any time. And it has its drawbacks because sometimes you do get lonely looking at a computer screen. But I love the advantages. I love to be able to be free and to do it on my terms.
Sure, that's fantastic. Just the freedom to be able to pick up and go any part of the world you want and still be able to maintain your work from any corner of the earth. That's like a dream for most people.
Right. Yeah. It's hot out here in Las Vegas. Let me go to my parents in Michigan. That sounds so to have that location independence, I feel like it's such a valuable freedom that you've kind of made for yourself by the lifestyle you're choosing to lead.
Yeah, we had a fun experience last couple of months. We spent almost 1 month in Asia visiting. My wife is Japanese, so we were visiting her family. And then after that, we just went to Europe, and we stopped by Istanbul, Turkey, and then we went to Spain, France, Italy. We got to eat at some of the best restaurants in the world, stay at some of the nicest hotels in the world. We got to go to beautiful sites. And at one point, we were in Amalfi Coast in Italy, which is like, you're right on the water with these cliffs and all these houses. And it's just gorgeous, like picture perfect. I'm like, oh man, this is cool. Got to be grateful that I don't have to be somewhere like 9 to 5, that I can have this flexibility to be able to do this. And yeah, it's a fun part. And the cool part is anyone can do it. With the internet now, you can almost do anything with the internet. You can sell anything, you can work on anything. And I think more and more we're going to see people switching their careers over through the internet, and just got to be grateful. Thank God for the internet. It's a blessing and it's fun, but it started with the dream. I had a dream to have this kind of business, to have this kind of flexibility. I did not start that way. I had to start. I failed a lot along the way, but now I look back, I'm like, man, it's just like I envisioned. So I encourage all the people listening, if you're not having the type of work or business that you're wanting, have a dream, have a vision in your mind, and keep going for it. You don't know how, you don't know, maybe it's not going to come the way you expected it, but as long as you don't give up on the vision or dream, it will come.
That's
awesome.
So true.
So let's kind of talk, you said you had this vision of a life of freedom and maybe, where your family could kind of travel with you. So in regards to, we like to focus on family, finance, and freedom on this podcast. So
I love it.
With the life you lead now, where does your origin story begin? Where did that dream start, and can you give us a brief glimpse of your journey?
How did it come into reality for you?
Sure. So I grew up in a very a religious faith family, and there was a program after high school. It's like a leadership training program. Pretty crazy if people aren't familiar with it, but in a nutshell, we lived in a van, we traveled the country, and we had to raise funds for our own program, which involved us having to go door to door, store to store, parking lots, and ask if people would like to support our work. We did service projects and leadership seminars for youth and those kind of things. Wow. In doing it, though, I really started to think about, as I was selling things on the street, I learned, wow, there are principles to money. There are principles to success. It's not random. If people do think that success is driven by luck or chance or talent or circumstance, if you study a lot of the big achievers in the world, a lot of them achieve success despite their lack of education, despite their lack of talent, despite their lack of circumstance. So I realized that it's a principle. And I started to think that in my life, what do I want to create? If I can do anything, what do I want to achieve? And as I thought about it, I did not just want to be someone that I noticed that I see sometimes a divide. People either go one of two ways. One is some people go the way of they want to be rich. And then in becoming rich, they sacrifice relationships and family and a lot of things that I find are core values that also lead to a successful and peaceful society. On the other hand, some people, they follow the way of moral values and family and relationships. Therefore, they don't go after money. In fact, they might even think that money is evil. And I think in both circumstances, you're not living a complete life. You don't have the full picture. In some way or another, you have a poverty mindset, whether it's poverty in money or poverty in relationships. In both those situations, there's fear. There's fear either tied to external results and circumstances or tied to relationships. And I thought, I want to live the full life. I don't want to compromise. I want to have both be internally and externally excellent. I want to have money and family and good relationships. I want to do it all because if principles are true, there's no reason why I can't do it. So yeah, that's where it started. It started from when I was pretty young, 21, running around the country and going to Alaska by myself. And there's a lot of crazy stories there. But I started to solidify this dream. And once it was in my mind, I knew I couldn't give up on it, but I went through a lot of failures along the way. So it's definitely not, it definitely, you get tested. I mean, people think like, oh, you have a dream and then boom, you just realize it. It's not that way at all. You have to be able to really live and die by your dream. You have to not give up. You have to be able to go through challenges and just persevere. Perseverance is a huge quality for success that most people, when they hit a little bit of adversity, they want to stop. And they see the negative feedback as reasons they can't do something. But it's actually not. It just means you have to learn something. You have to go through something. You have to level up. If you're a Pokemon, you got to evolve. It's something along that way. You're almost there, but you just got to go through it.
What a great insight. I love that. It's very clear that you do a lot of reflecting along your journey to really make your decisions intentional. You're really living a life with intention. And I love that. I know that's something we work on every day. And we tell people all the time, to truly become the best version of yourself, you've got to be intentional with what you're trying to create in this life. Figure that out, pursue that, and build that.
Right. So digging in a little bit more, you had this dream of, having a balanced, family and then finances and then freedom through that. Where did that kind of lead? So you said you had some failures, and can you just maybe share one of these failures or something along this journey towards finding this now kind of seems like your dream life of building this Amazon business, where, you're kind of living that dream.
And how did you get there?
Yeah.
Sure. I would say that in different aspects, I hit different challenges both in business and in building a family, and different challenges come at different times. I definitely think now, me having a very adventurous personality and loving to travel and try new things and going things, man, having kids, sometimes right now it's been the opposite. Having kids, it's like they like routine. You're more at home. Sometimes it's more mundane work, taking care of kids. And that's been a challenge for me recently. So that's a challenge I'm currently going through. In terms of business, I just didn't know where to start. And so I just started doing whatever I could to figure out a business. And I went through different failures. I did coffee machines for Walgreens drugstores. That was I was 21 years old with like a 50 grand we lost on that one. Oh. And it might as well have been $1 million. And then, I did specialty retail where we sold in malls, which if people don't know what shopping malls are, then it's a dying thing. But what you do is on Christmas time, they have these stores in the center of the mall, and we would sell different products. And I had malls going across the country, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. And I lost 20 grand on that one. And I could go into a lot of stories. But when I lost money on that one, I was ready to give up. I was like, why am I so ambitious? Why not just make my goals less? Like, why strive so hard? Why not set smaller goals? And I don't have to face this fear and my anxiety and my self-image and doubting myself and worrying about what people think about me. What if I just went small, and then I would be comfortable and I wouldn't have to do this, and everyone would look at me and go, wow, Jonathon, you live such a great life. Like, it's amazing. You have time, freedom, and a family. But I knew I chickened out. And I thought if I was going to be on my deathbed on like a coffin, and if I would have to look back at myself knowing that I was not true to who I was and I chickened out, how would I feel? And I would feel miserable and I would feel regret. And so at that point, I realized what success was. It came from a quote from Earl Nightingale, that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And why I love that quote is that success is not a number on your bank account. It's not a job title, because that's all subjective anyway. Success is the moment you decide how you want to live your life. The moment you decide you have a dream and you go for it and you go in that direction. The moment you do that, you are successful. And every experience, whether it's up or down, is just a greater progression or realization of that success. At that point, I decided I cannot give up ever, because even if I fail again and again and again, it's like, as long as if I strike out every time, I could look back at my life and smile and be like, damn, that was a good ride. Good job, John. Good job, Jonathon. That was fun. Because I went after something I wanted.
Right.
And I think most people don't live their life what they want. If you start thinking about what you want, you get so excited. Why do kids wait in line for 45 minutes at a department store to sit on Santa's lap? Because it's so much fun to talk about what you want and believe that you're going to get it. And I think that in life, it should be like that as well.
Right. I love to see your passion. I know you're passionate about, or, you had been coaching others and bringing others towards this life of freedom, talking to people who are working, these 9 to 5 jobs, which they kind of hate going into work every day.
Yep.
And you trying to like help transform them, see another light, another path towards potential income and eventual freedom. So I love you sharing that.
Yeah, it's a great way to live.
Right. Okay, so Jonathon, I do want to touch on Amazon FBA a little bit. I don't think our audience will all be familiar on what that looks like. When I was younger, I used to sell things on eBay, and I remember it being a hassle because I would, take pictures of these things one at a time, and then I'd have to list them on eBay, and then they would sell, and then I'd have to package them up, and then I'd have to go to the post office and ship it. You sell I'm sure tens of thousands of products a month, perhaps. I don't know what your quantities are, but what does that even look like? How can you really just do this all from a laptop and you're selling multi-million dollars of product? What does that look like? What is Amazon FBA? This is you only sell through Amazon, right? And this is how you make all your income.
Sure. So right now with the internet, what you have a chance to do is you can have automation and scale. And technology and internet is going to take anything that's inefficiencies. It's going to take inefficiencies and it's going to make tremendous opportunity. If we think it's crazy now, 10 years from now, the world's going to be even more different. If you think about what Uber's doing in terms of taxis and Airbnb in terms of the hotel industries, and it's just going to change with healthcare and just so many things. And it's such a fun thing because we get to leverage technology. So with Amazon, why they did such a good job is they created an online marketplace where people can buy things, almost anything, and they could get it shipped with them in 2 days. Because of that, Amazon also made an open platform for sellers where you can sell anything. So you can go to a store and buy discounted merchandise, put that on Amazon, sell it. You can go to liquidations and buy liquidation products, put it on Amazon, sell it. You could even go on other websites, find something that's $20, but it sells for $40 on Amazon and sell it. And you could even put your own products on Amazon, which is what I do. It's called private label. You find a brand and you build products for those brands. And the goal is on Amazon, though, is they have tons of traffic. So Amazon already has the traffic. All you have to work on is the visibility. So we try to get our products ranked on page 1 for a lot of keywords. Amazon is the same as Google. People search for terms that they're looking for. The cool thing about Amazon is that people have an intent to buy. It's crazy. The credit card's already saved. They just have to click, they can click add to cart, but that's a lot of work. They can just click one click, ordering. And because of that, if you can get your products ranked or shown up, then you can have sales coming again and again. And because we have fulfillment by Amazon where you ship your products to Amazon's warehouses and then they take care of the rest.
Right. So you're shipping thousands of units to Amazon directly, right? You're not shipping one at a time.
Yeah, my friend has a business, and yesterday their truck came and they didn't have enough staff to unload it. So I decided to go down there and help. And I'm like, man, this is a lot of work. It took an hour. I was all sweaty, heavy boxes. I'm like, thank God I don't do this. Amazon does it all. Yeah, we just order it. Our manufacturers have to make it. They have to worry about boxing it. They have to worry that everything's up to speed and it's all certified and all that stuff. We ship it to Amazon. Amazon has to worry about unboxing it, warehousing it, and then Amazon has to worry about shipping it and getting the address right and all that kind of stuff. We don't do any of that. And that's fun because all we get to focus on is creating good products and getting better at our marketing to get it towards page 1.
So you never touch your products.
Nope.
You never see them. They go straight from manufacturer to Amazon.
Correct. Now, when we start, we see them. When we start, we get samples, production samples. We do those things for sure. But as we scale, no, we don't look at them. We get them inspected. As long as the inspection approves, then it keeps going.
I love that automation. Just the idea that you have this business and this machine kind of working for you. You've created all of the systems that are necessary for it to succeed on its own, and then you can kind of step back and live your life while your business runs itself. And that's what it sounds like.
It's front-loaded work. So definitely in the beginning, it wasn't, in the beginning, you have to get good at anything. For anyone that wants to start any kind of business, you have to get good at it. you have to pay your dues. It's going to take time, and we're constantly trying to get better. So it's not a completely hands-off business. It could be, but for anybody that I see that it is, like passive income, what happens is Amazon's algorithm changes, and then they start losing traction on their products. I've seen it again and again. So it's not like a set it and forget it, but a lot is automated. It allows flexibility. It allows more freedom. But it's also fun because it's like a game, and as Amazon changes, we have to adapt. And Amazon's changing constantly. It's like the Wild West. It's a new frontier, and it's constantly changing, and we all have to adapt and grow.
Right. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners are Amazon Prime members. You know, they have Amazon accounts, and, you know, so like your products would actually have the Prime logo, right? So they'd hop on Amazon.com, search something. Yep. Maybe they want to buy this pencil, so they search pencils, and then they see, okay, Jonathon Jesper Company selling this Ticonderoga pencil, and they could actually buy it, and Amazon ships it to their house. But it's
correct, but they would barely see the Jonathon Jesper Company. A lot of them might even think it's from Amazon themselves. A lot of people don't realize that about 60% of products they buy on Amazon is not from Amazon, but what's called third-party merchants, or just regular people selling products.
And that's like you.
Yep, like me.
Awesome. And how many products do you have currently listed on Amazon?
About 30.
About 30 products. And I know you're constantly developing, constantly trying to grow, but let's say that you're satisfied with the 30 you have and you just want to maintain. What do you think the hours a week that you put into maintaining that 30 product baseline on Amazon and continuing those sales going?
I have a team, so I would say for me, maybe an hour a week. And if you don't have a team, maybe 3-4 hours a week.
Okay.
The problem is that if you're not innovating, there's a principle in life. You're either growing or you're dying. Mm-hmm. And if you're not innovating, if you're not trying to expand and grow, and you're just trying to keep the sales, somehow that principle doesn't work. And something's going to happen. You're going to lose track of something, and sales will start to go down. I've just seen it happen again and again. So if I hit a point where I'm fine and I have the status quo, then I want to sell the company.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Interesting.
I'm curious to know, like, does your wife take part in any of these business ventures, or she
doesn't like it.
Well, does she like the fruits of your efforts?
Free labor. Yeah. I was like, also, like, Japan has a marketplace. She's Japanese. I'm like, this is perfect. She doesn't like doing it, and we're okay as husband and wife. We're not really good as like
business partners.
Coworkers. Yeah. I'll let her stay at the taking care of babies and making babies role.
Okay. And she's happy to let you take full reign of the Amazon empire?
Yeah, she doesn't mind. She's a licensed massage therapist. She does her own little projects. So
nice.
Yeah, but Amazon, no. That's my thing.
I could definitely relate. I'm definitely not tech savvy, so the idea of an online business to me is just like, no. But everyone has their strengths and their passions, and they don't have to always be the same, right? As long as you have a good chemistry between the two of you, just in general, right? That's what matters.
Yeah. So what is your typical day look like then? You know, like what did today look like for you?
So today I woke up, I slept in today actually, so I probably woke up at like 8:30. And then my dad invited us to go out to this beautiful cafe right on the river. So we went out there, hung out there. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I really like it here. I'll just stay here. So then I opened up my laptop. I worked for about 4 hours till 2, came home, ate lunch. What did I do after that? After that, I took my kids to the playground. We played, came back, had dinner. Just now we were outside playing because it was such a beautiful day. We did ping pong and croquet, and we did, my son likes to play with a little baseball. We did that as well. And my parents were out there, his grandparents, my wife. It was like picture perfect. We had music playing. Everyone's laughing. It was fun. And now I'm doing an interview. After this, I'm going to go watch a movie. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I don't know. Tomorrow's different. Tomorrow we're debating going to a movie. I might go to Chicago for a Cubs game. Go Cubs. No, we'll decide when tomorrow hits.
Okay, awesome. So, you know, I feel like you've created this lifestyle and you love the life you're living. What do you say when you meet, you know, a status quo 18-year-old, you know, living the status quo life, has all his dreams to go to college and do the regular thing, get the degree, go to work for a corporation and start plugging away 9 to 5. What do you say? Like, let's say you hop on an airplane, you're sitting next to the 18-year-old. What do you say to that person?
Man, that sounds miserable. But I want to say it sounds miserable for me. It may not be miserable for them. What's your dream? No one can. Everyone's wired differently. What excites one person's not going to excite someone else, and that's why we have such innovation and beauty in the world. Is because everyone's different. So, what is your dream? Now, in that question, if that's someone's dream to do the status quo because they have a certain purpose and mission, then 100% they got to do it. But if they're just doing it because they never knew that they could dream differently, they didn't know that there was another way to live, and they're just following what everyone else does, I would say watch out, be careful. I think that honestly, they're gonna look to maintain the status quo for the rest of their life when it comes to relationships, when it comes to having a family. And I don't think that's going to lead to happiness. I follow a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk. He's really cool. He talks about if you ever want to motivate yourself, go to an old people's home. Go talk to 90-year-olds. And what you'll hear is deep regret. Deep regret because they had a song inside of them that they never sang. They had a dream that they just never did because they're too busy doing the stuff that they're supposed to do. Or they kept pushing it away. When I have the money, then I'll do the dream. When I have the time, then I'll do it. When the kids go to school, then I'll do my dream. And I just don't think that it should be like that. I don't think a lot of people know that you can sit down with a pen and paper and design your life. Because they don't say, well, how? I don't know. You don't know how. No one knows how. In fact, a lot of successful people said if they knew what they had to do when they had the dream, they wouldn't have done it because they're like, well, that's too hard. You want to climb a mountain, you don't have to know everything. All you have to do is just start going, go as high as you can climb, and then you'll see the next spot to climb. I like to use an example of a GPS. When we go drive now, we don't know how to get to where we want to go. We just put in the destination and then turn right. Turn left.
Yeah.
Recalculating. Oh, you messed up. Recalculating. Your dream's not done. Just make a U-turn on the highway and get off the exit and you're back on track. I think that in life, it's like a GPS. What is your dream? Have that dream and start going. Just do whatever you can. Start where you are. Don't worry that you're not anywhere close. Start where you are. What's the next logical step? And the way will be shown to you. And it won't be what you think. I've never seen it the way you think. It's going to be crazy. You're going to look back a few years from now and be, oh my God, it's exactly as I wanted it, but it didn't happen exactly as I thought it would. Yeah, but for that person that is just living the normal life, be careful. It's not, you got to dream. You got to do what you want. Life is short. You should be spending your days doing what you want to do, what you love to do. You should be feeling satisfied. In fact, you don't even have to spend your days doing what you do for money. You can have a different business or a different project for money, but you need to spend your days for satisfaction because you probably have a gift, a talent that you can share with the world. And that is your genius, and you need to be following that.
Right. So, Jonathan, I feel like you have a lot of drive. I sense that in you. I have it a lot in myself. How do you kind of maybe temper some of that drive? And, you kind of related, you would go to Japan and, that you'd be spending a lot of time with the kids and maybe that would kind of, get rid of your tempo or of your workflow. I know now, you're in Michigan with your extended or your grandparents. So I'm sure that all helps with the family and taking care of the kids and everything. But how do you kind of balance that, continuous wanting to grow the business, but also spend time with your family? How is that for you?
The work-life
know yourself. I don't like working on my business, as fun as that sounds like. I get very bored staring at a computer screen. I get very bored looking at spreadsheets or doing tedious work. It's not my character type. It's not what I want to be doing in the future. I sometimes have to do it because I'm building this business. Actually, this business is not even my main dream. So it's just a stepping stone for me. So I had to learn that. So for me, what I love doing, what my genius is building relationships. I love traveling. I love meeting people. So how I built my business is I built the relationships and I let my relationships build my business. And that's my strength. If you ask my team, I have a really good team, and they're thank God they're doing a lot of the stuff that I really don't want to do, and they're doing it very well. But they'll say like, yeah, Jonathan's good at building relationships. And other people I notice, they love working on their business. So they love doing it like 16, 17, 18-hour days in front, and that's what they should be doing because they get a thrill of it. And then when they meet people, they get overwhelmed, they get tired. It's not their thing. So you need to. So for me, like. When I'm with my family, I'm actually like, yay, like I can play with my kids. Sometimes though, when I'm doing things with my kids, it's more mundane work. I have to watch them. I have to help them. I like to travel. I shouldn't travel as much. That part I'm actually honestly still working on because that part I do struggle with the family building. It's like, I want to travel. I want to be free. But also have to be there for my kids. And I love my kids, and like the relationships we're having and the joy that comes from it is amazing. So I'm constantly working at that. I do feel this like two parts of me. One part's very happy and fulfilled, and the other part wants to go, go, go. And that part, I'm still working it out. If people have advice, they I'm free to take it.
Very true. I can relate to that feeling too. For me, my passion has always been to raise a family and to be able to have the freedom to stay home with my kids. And, since our early days of marriage, we expressed that dream to each other and said, let's find a way in this life where we don't have to be working the 2-parent,
dual income family.
Let's find a way to make this work where I can stay home and raise my kids. And when they get school age, I hope to homeschool them. And so that was always my dream. And I definitely am super excited that we are on course with this vision that we're building. But I can relate to the day-to-day mundaneness of it sometimes, where it's like, you have to take it down to their pace. And children do live at a much slower pace because they are discovering and absorbing so much that we, at this point, already feel like, oh, that's old news, It's like, oh my gosh,
100%.
Look at that worm. It's like, yeah, it's just a worm. Come on, let's move on,
We can learn from that too, but it's like, I think that's love. Like, if you really love someone, it's not that it's easy. It's not that it's convenient, but you live for the sake of someone else. So
right.
I think that's just a conscious choice.
Richness that comes from that relationship. Nothing in life is made to be easy. It's meant to be enriching and fulfilling and to challenge you to be the best you can be. So.
Yes, amen to that. People think that, they look at successful people and think they have it all figured out. Guess what? No one has this thing figured out. We're all trying to find the secret for happiness and fulfillment. And as you grow in one area, sometimes challenges come in different areas.
Right.
And everyone goes through struggles. Everyone doubts themselves. Everyone second guesses. It's not just you, whoever's listening. You're not the only one. Everyone does it. Right. It's not that, these guys have it figured out and I don't know. We're all going through the same things all the time. That's part of being human. That's part of being in this world where we're trying to actualize true, real love. And that's the challenge that we're facing with. But it's a game worth playing.
Right. And debunking that myth that, one day you're going to reach this success level where all of a sudden you can just coast and every aspect of your life is going to be easy as pie. And I think that's not really a fact of life. That will never really be like that. But to find a place where you do really feel fulfilled and you feel that passion burning inside you for what you are living for, that's really what you're striving for.
Yeah, 100%. The happily ever after syndrome. It's Disney's fault. That is
shame on them.
That is it's a great thing. But people think that if this and this happens, then I'll be happy. Then my worries go around. Then I don't have to worry about anything. Then I'll be fulfilled. And it's not about that. Never put like an end date or like have a goal. If this happens, then I'll be happy. The goal is to feel good now. Don't wait till sometime to feel happy, fulfilled, grateful. Feel it now.
Right.
Because when that time happens, when it comes and you have that thing, you're going to worry about something else. Or you're going to have another thing in the future and think, I have to do that. It's about how do we feel gratitude and joy in the moment. You have to enjoy the journey. If it's about a destination, it's miserable. Because if you get the destination, then what do you do with your life? It's like we're stuck. It's a constant journey of growth. And it's not what we get. It's who we become in the process that really matters.
Right. And the majority of your life is spent in the journey, not in the end destination. So you better make the most of that time because you're going to be spending a lot of time on it.
Yep.
So with that question, are there any resources that have really helped you on your journey? Is there anything that you found particularly inspiring, got you up and going in the morning, or gave you ideas for how to pursue your dreams?
Yeah, some resources that have worked really well for me is one I study under a guy named Bob Proctor. He's been learning success principles for the last 55, 56 years. He's 80 something now, but still going strong. And he talks a lot about the minds and the principle of success and the laws of the world that we live in. And I love that. I study that a lot. I read another book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. For those readers that are not familiar with it, the richest man in the world, Andrew Carnegie, the richest man. He's like the Jeff Bezos of his time. He felt that success was not random. It was due to clear principles. And he felt people like him, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, they were going to go to their graves and they have all this knowledge locked up in their bones. He challenged a young reporter to study the world's most biggest failures and the most successful people as the people I just mentioned. And when he was done with his study, he said, yep, success is not random. Every successful person knows it's not random. And he laid out the principles for success in that book.
Wow.
That one's great. Another one that's really helped me and it's continuing to help me in building my family is a book called Real Love by Greg Bear. I think that solves all our problems in the world. That concept of real love. You can call it God's love, true love, unconditional love, but it's the only thing that will fulfill us as people. And sometimes people go build a business or they want money because they're trying to fill some kind of hole in their heart. They think, oh, then I'll be safe, secure, or then I'll have the house, or then I'll have a car and I can show off, or then I can have nice things, and then I'll be valuable in society, but it's not the case. The only thing we want is to be unconditionally loved. We wanted it since we got out of the womb, and we still want it. And unfortunately, none of us got the love we need. That book helped me so much. I highly recommend that book to everyone.
Real Love.
And then last one is a book called Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. It's a very short book. It's like Think and Grow Rich, but very condensed. And it's just the principles of being rich, but don't get rich confused with just having money. Rich is a mindset. Poor is a mindset. You can be broke. That's a temporary financial situation. But being poor is a mindset and being rich is a mindset. And you can be rich in your relationships, in your gratitude, in your happiness, and you can be rich in your finances as well.
Man, I kind of do want to touch a little bit more on Amazon, but I know we're kind of getting to the end of the show. You are the Amazon guy in my mind. Is there a resource you could point people to who are more interested in Amazon, or something you want to share about Amazon? It
depends. If you want to go on Amazon, you have to know there's so many ways to sell a product on Amazon. I shared a few just on this talk. If you want to do Amazon private label, do not just go at it by yourself. Have an understanding that one, it's probably going to cost at least 10 grand to get it going. And you're probably not going to reinvest. You have to reinvest your money in your business for at least 1 to 2 years, for sure. Don't think that you're just going to launch this product, make $3,000 or $4,000 a month profit. It's going to be passive. It's not how it works. If you have a number that you want to start to take out of your business, double it. So like if you want to take out $5,000 a month for your income, at least make sure the business is making $10,000 a month. That way, in case something happens, it's more secure, but also you have money to keep feeding your business. People think their business is their money as the owners or entrepreneurs' money. Your business is a separate living organism. Don't suck out all the food and nutrients from your business. You got to let that thing live and breathe and grow and thrive. So I recommend getting a course. Which course to do? I mean, there's many courses out there. I learned from a course called Amazing Selling Machine. I would say more closely now, I would check out a guy named Tom Wong's. He has a really good course. A guy named Brandon Young. He has also a really good course as well. Those two guys are my friends. I trust them. They have good courses. Careful of YouTube videos. Just YouTube videos. There's people that teach this content for a living, and their stuff it's good, but it's not always the most relevant. It's best to learn from people that are in the trenches. There's a great advice. So I've given a lot of different advice that's helped me on this talk, but if there's another one that all your listeners can understand is if you want to do something in life, don't just like try to start from scratch and learn. Find someone that has what you want, learn from them, and just do exactly what they tell you to do. My biggest jump in my business is when I did exactly that point. It's so simple, but yet our ego sometimes gets in the way or different things. Just find someone that has what you want, learn from them, and do exactly what they tell you to do.
So find yourself a mentor for whatever you're passionate.
100%. Especially on the internet, it's so easy. You can hire people. You have videos, courses. There's more information now than ever before. It's like there's no reason you cannot get support to do it. If there's no reason you can't accomplish any goal you want. If you don't have money, you can crowdfund it. If you don't know how, you can have YouTube videos that teach you how. If you don't have, technology to do it, now you can build things on like AWS is a crazy platform, Amazon Web Services. You can almost do anything. This is the best time to have a dream. We should be the most crazy dreamers ever, because if you had some impossible dream, guess what? Technology 2 years from now is probably going to make it possible.
Right.
So we should all be dreaming.
Right. Well, that's great. And that's good advice, finding someone who's doing what you want to do and then just replicate and save yourself all that trouble.
Yep. I used to do a coaching program, but I realized that it's almost a whole nother business of itself. Mm-hmm. So I decided I still help people, but my main focus right now is on my business for the current meantime.
Right. Oh, great. Fantastic.
Hey, hold on just 1 second. Valen, yes, you can.
And go to bed.
Yeah, Valen always stays up way too late.
How old is he?
4.
It's okay. My son does as well.
Yeah, like we put him to bed, and then like 2.5 later, he's still awake, waiting for us to join him. We're all still
we're in there.
We have a 3-bedroom apartment here, and we all still sleep in the same bedroom.
My kids too. There's this YouTube video of this lady where this baby elephant greets this lady, and then like tramples her and like rolls around her, and she's laughing and laughing. I'm like, that's me in the bed with my kids. Like, oh, he's just rolling all over me. Right. Yeah, I don't. My wife's Japanese. She grew up. Everyone's sleeping in the same room. She loves that, so we do it. But man, sometimes it's hard. It's like I want my bed. I want my wife back. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, at least we kind of took our immediate bed back. You know, we have the pack and play with our youngest 2-year-old right next to us, and then our son on another like kind of futon on the side of the bed. So we at least have that domain.
We finally earned our mattress back. But
well, we're working on it. We put our kids on another bed, and then somehow when I wake up in the morning, there he is right next to me. So
yeah, when he goes to work, like an hour later, the kids will wake up. It's a ritual. They'll climb out of their beds and come onto my bed and then just like fall asleep right next to me. My little one has to fall asleep cheek to cheek. And he's got to make sure, and he'll reposition my face till it's just where he wants it, and then he'll fall back asleep. And we'll do that for another hour, and then we have to get up. But at least they don't come in earlier than that. It's like 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., so it's pretty good.
So parent life. So Jonathon, I want to wrap up a little bit here. But what do you hope, when people listen to your story, listen to this podcast, what do you hope they get inspired to do when they hear you?
Create a dream and go for it. I think that in life is about growth. You're either growing or you're dying. It's not what you get in terms of material possessions. It's who you become. We're constantly growing ourselves. People sometimes ask, are you excited your business is growing? I'm like, actually, I'm excited I'm growing. My business is just a reflection of my own growth. And as people, when you have a dream, your life is different because you have a hunger. When you're hungry for something and you want to grow, you make totally different decisions. What you do with your day changes. What kind of food you eat changes. Who you spend your time with changes. What kind of music you listen to changes. Spending time with friends changes. Everything changes when you have this dream and you make a decision. I hope that people listen to this. I know there's probably a dream in their heart. Sit down, write out your dream life 10 years from now, if nothing was impossible. And don't write out, I would like to be, pretend you're living it now. I have this amazing life. I live in this kind of house. I have this kind of job. I have this. How do you feel? Know the feeling, because it's ultimately the feeling we want anyway. It's not the actual thing. It's how that thing makes us feel. So what is that feeling like? Narrow down that feeling and then make a decision. I'm going to do this. And just start. What's the next step? What's the first thing? Take action. What's the first thing you can do? I hope that there's someone in there listening to this talk. It sparks and they're like, yeah, I have this dream. And I hope that this person can take action and do it. And later, I hope to meet them sometime and they'll be like, yo, what's that podcast? I'm like, oh man, cool. Because that was totally worth doing.
So Jonathon, I'm kind of curious. You mentioned, Amazon's going well for you, but it's not really your main dream. I'm curious, like what's getting you up excited in the morning? What is your main dream?
Sometimes it's hard for me to get excited in the morning because I have to do spreadsheets. For my Amazon business, just to be very transparent. I love talking about actually success principles. I would like to create a business out of it. I do feel though that before I talk about it, I want to work on myself. I want to achieve things in my life and know that it really works. I do see that in my own results. I've had personal self-limiting thoughts. I doubted myself. I worried a lot. I had these kind of blocks and I'm like, I want to solve these blocks first. I want to really understand it. And if it works, I want to overcome these things in myself and then I can help others to do it as well. So to be honest, sometimes I work on things in my business I don't like doing, but the biggest thing is what do I do when I get discouraged? And when I get discouraged, I have this avatar of a person. And I imagine, I'm not going to go into full detail because if I do, I'll cry and it's really deep, but I think about this person, how one day I'm going to help this person and their life's going to completely change and their life is going to be filled with so much joy and beauty and their family's going to be great. And when I meet them, this person's going to come up to me crying. I'm going to see them. I'm going to cry and it's going to be really beautiful. And I think, and I'm going to feel so fulfilled when I meet this person. Like every struggle, everything I went through was worth it because I could help this person. And I think, well, if I give up now, then who's going to help that person? So I can't give up.
What is your best advice you kind of give to couples that are just starting out?
Same. I don't think the advice really changes. I think number one, have dreams, support each other on your dreams, but start to dream because now you can create foundations for your family. Number two is really build your relationships with each other. I think that the most important thing when you have kids is that they know mommy and daddy love each other. And in some religious faiths, they talk about that love is like electricity. It flows vertically down. So sometimes people think you have to put your kids first, but actually a husband and wife should always put themselves first, loving each other first, because when that love is there, then it flows down to the kids. And so I think that it's a special time when it's just, if it's a young couple and they're thinking about building their lives together, number one, dream together, support each other. And then number two is really work on building real unconditional love with each other, because that will become the foundation for your family. And when your kids come, I like to imagine every kid can be born in this greenhouse or school of love. And I think every kid deserves that.
That's so true, so on point. You know, no matter how successful you are in business or in relationships with other people, if your family relationships aren't where they need to be, you'll never feel truly fulfilled and happy. So.
I 100% agree with that. I think that with real love, nothing else matters. Without it, nothing else is ever enough. So 100% agree.
Jonathon, Jesper, thank you so much for joining the FamVestor podcast. If people want to know more about you, get in touch with you, how can people reach out to you?
Look me up on Facebook, Jonathon Jesper. I don't really have anything. I don't have an Instagram yet. I don't really have a Snapchat or whatever else the new things are. I don't know all the new terms young people are using. Like I heard there's like a minute and a hot minute and I had no idea. I feel like I'm getting old. I'm just laser focused on what I want to do. So look me up on Facebook. That's about it. I'd love to get to know people. Thank you guys for what you're doing. I think this is a great message. I think that what you guys are building and standing for is needed, and you're going after your dream too. And so I'm 100% support and I'm proud of you.
Hey, thanks, Jonathon.
Thanks.
Great to have you on the show. Okay, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed that interview with Jonathon. I just love his mindset, his perspective, and his drive towards meeting his goals and his dreams, and just sharing his wisdom that he had with us. So I hope it inspires you, to take those action steps towards your dreams and to really start living that intentional life that is on purpose. So with that, we're going to end the show here. I just want to remind everyone, if you can subscribe, if you found value in this show, please share it with a friend, some loved one that you can think of that would gain tremendous value from the show. Just send them a link and let them know about the podcast. We love creating this content for you, and we hope that you can really put it to action. If you're just listening and not taking action, there's not too much movement that's going on in your life. But once you start taking those action steps, that's where real change starts to happen, real transformation, real growth, and cool stuff starts to happen. Next time on the podcast, we have James Masadi, and he's going to talk to us all about maximizing every single moment in the pursuit of your dreams. So definitely, it's a great carry-on episode from this show. He talks a little bit how he's working full-time. He's married, has a 4-month-old daughter, but he's still, developing. He's running 3 or 4 businesses on the side. So it's a great episode. He's only 32 years old, but doing so much and really still being very intentional about how he's devoting time and investing in his family while doing everything else. So definitely check out that episode. Thanks for tuning in. Godspeed, everyone.